What's going on, everybody? So today was some open mats rolls. I got to record a few of them, but I didn't essentially get to record all of them. Well, I actually didn't record all of them. I spent some time trying to figure out what I was doing after the fact in some of the videos, but what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of a commentary to hopefully give you some insights into what I was trying to do in some of the rolls, and to maybe do a little bit of a technical breakdown. I'd really like to start doing some more jiu-jitsu type content, so this is the start of that, and hopefully you enjoy it.
All right, so here is the first roll. It's with one of my friends, Jordan, and it started out not so great. I was just trying to smash past his open guard there, trying to control his legs, but it actually got me caught in some type of triangle. I had to transition out of the video just because there was a bit of an obstruction. Just some of our friends were coming in through the doors. This was our first roll. So right now Jordan's essentially just trying to tie me up in a triangle, and I'm doing my best to stay conscious. At this point, Jordan has a really great triangle from all different angles, and my best bet at this point is to try to sink my body down, and I ended up doing that. Jordan kind of gave up on the choke, just wasn't seeming to fit. And we start to scramble a little bit here. He tries to keep that knee pressure on me while trying to maintain some positions on my legs, but I'm just trying to continue to frame as best I can. And that really does save me a lot here. He actually grabs my arm, pins it down, and tries to sit over mount, which he ends up getting. And from there, I essentially just try to frame on the hips, shuck my way out to try to give myself a bit better of a position here. So I'm in a pretty compromising position. He's got the high mount on me here. So I'm essentially trying to strip his legs off, re-guard, and insert some kind of knee shield, or at least to frame in order to get me in a position where I can kind of capitalize on something, or at least get a scramble going, or try to maintain a stronger position here. And as we continue to go through the roll, I'm taking a lot of defensive positions here because Jordan is really putting a good pressure on me and stopping me from really making any offensive moves from that bottom. And he essentially locks me up in a Kimura trap, and then that brings us to the end of the round. So the next roll that we have is with a friend of mine, Mark. He's a purple belt. He's a beast, and he pulls guard on me pretty quick. So at that point, I just need to stop myself from getting clamped and or triangled or armbarred. So I try to crush down the legs in order to make a bit of a pressure pass here, but he ends up stiff arming me up with the momentum that I was trying to use. And at that point, I was a little shook just because I was mad that that worked so well. But here, he's really putting on a heavy pressure on me in the side control, and he switches. It's almost kind of like a reverse side control. I'm not necessarily sure exactly what I would call that. But he continues to try to add this pressure so I'm not able to turn into him. So you can see me trying to reach underneath to kind of clear one of my hands in order to get a bit of a scramble going, or to at least turn in to grab one of the legs or re-guard for half guard. So sometimes it can be really challenging to get past some of these points, but you just need to be resilient, stay patient, and keep looking for opportunities to retain some type of guard or to get a scramble going. So at this point, you can see I've got my half guard here, so I go for a deep half spot. Really get sunk in there. I got my right arm scooped underneath the leg. So my idea now is to elevate and bring that leg across. And the idea behind that is that I want to try to chase the back if I can, or at least set up some kind of lower body position or some type of like ankle lock, knee bar, etc. But Mark actually kind of sees that and then shucks me up into a bit of a truck position so we get reset, but I'm also in a better position at this point. So sometimes your moves don't always necessarily work, but if you can get a better position and then try to sink for something, that seems to always be a good bet as well too. So here I've actually grabbed a Kimura. Mark's doing a really good job at shoving his hand down in between his legs to try to stop me from actually getting the position and getting the submission, or at least doing a sweep from the submission. And from here, Mark's just really trying to pressure me down, keeping my legs tied up to stop me from getting some of a posture. and really didn't let me do too much from here. At this point, I was really trying to sink for that Kimura. I had the arm for a little while and tried to hook for a half guard here. But again, Mark with that pressure, just keeping on his toes, really driving into me at this point. All I could really do is try to survive and look for an opportunity to either sweep or adjust or go for a back take if I could, try to sink that arm over. So I'm trying to drag him up here. At this point, I was just trying to reach for something. I felt like I was a little bit stuck in these spots. So I was just trying to keep things moving, to keep Mark off balance, and to really give myself as best an opportunity as I could to try to get something here. So he actually grabs the arm here and he looks to try to take the back at this point, I think. But I did a good job of kind of turning in and threatening something, but Mark still kind of gets into that near armbar position, so he goes for the sub here. Didn't work. I dragged the arm in and didn't give him a long lever in order to get that armbar. And here I've just hooked up a bit of a De La Hiva and Mark's dragging me out of the way so that we don't get into our partners there. So I've got the bottom of my hand on the heel there. I tried to pull him in and then tried to extend. You see you got that crossover with that back step of the leg, but Mark did a good job of staying sturdy even when he came to his knees. My idea was to actually invert after that. So here Mark did a little bit of a front roll and tried to take the back from that position, but I tried to scramble through and did my best to try to retain as strong a position as I could. So we reset here from a seated position. I immediately go for that leg tie up with some heavy pressure with the shoulder, and then just do a bit of a hip switch here in order to get into that side control position. At this point, I just did a little knee on belly here and just drove it down to the ground to get that mounted position. And then I tie up the legs in order to give him less of an opportunity to try to off balance me or give me a little bit more of trouble. But again, Mark is a big dude, he's strong, and he really tries to keep me off balance. So the crazy thing about this is that off balance actually gave him a near opportunity to do a straight ankle lock there, but I tried to sit through and compressed it so he didn't have the ability to extend across. So we get into a bit of a scramble here, and nothing really comes of it, but then Mark just decides to give me a turtle because he's being a nice guy. And I jam my knee through and try to go for that truck position, kick through, and then got a little bit of that back take. So here I actually locked up a Kimura grip in order to keep him stuck in that position, but it got really close to the end of that round and I wasn't able to capitalize. But either way, it was a great roll. All the rolls were on reel today, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe, like, or comment, and share. Thanks for watching.